Hi and welcome to the Gemhawks YouTube channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day today. For the free wire tutorial today, I've been asked to recreate my large hole charm bead hoop drop earrings. These titles keep getting longer. I might think of a different way of describing that. Anyway, today I'm going to show you how you can repurpose your charm beads, like these ones, and pop them onto a pair of hoop earrings to be worn all the time. Let's head down to the board and take a closer look at the example project. So I have a huge collection of large hole European style charm beads in various colourways and designs, and I really enjoy this one and this one. I think they're particularly lovely. So I wore these in a live broadcast earlier on in the month, and I was asked to show you how to create these earrings. So I have picked out a selection of beads that I know will move freely on 1mm or 18 gauge wire. And I quite like the idea of mixing metal colours up. And I've also got a little large hole charm bead here. Obviously you can use any style or design that you like. So to begin with, I have a 10-inch length of that 1mm or 18 gauge wire. And I'm going to ensure that that's nice and smooth and warm all the way along. It's important to get your wire to work for you rather than against you. There we are, that's ready to go. I'm also going to be employing a 1-inch round form. So this is from my pals at Bead. It's a round mandrel or round pole, if you like. You can use whatever you can find around the house. The reason I'm using one that is 1 inch across is because it will allow all of those beads to just scooch round really nicely. So around about a third of the way along that 10-inch piece of wire, we're going to just make a loop shape, and I want it to be quite snug around that 1-inch form that I'm using, and then we'll pop that back out of the way for now. So in order to make sure that I have enough of each of my little beads, because I've been through my collection of odds and ends, what I would do is I would make these side by side to ensure that even if they are not symmetrical top to bottom, they will both match one another. And what I tend to do is just open that round form out ever so slightly and start by popping on our beautiful little charm bead. There he is in all his glory. So the only proviso really is that the first spacer or bead that you choose to use next to that piece must be larger than the hole in your charm bead. So I'm going to start off with a couple of little gold spacers, and they will ensure that the rest of the beads don't slide inside that large hole charm bead, because we don't want that to happen, because it will disrupt how your earring sits and moves. So that by itself is actually kind of cute, and you could do a little bit of a less is more. Let me just grab one from my ear and show you the example that I was wearing the other day. So this is a little bit more diminutive, but I have indeed run out of those beads. Bring that up to the light slightly, you'll see that I've gone for 3 different metallics there. I do love mixing those metals. So all we're going to do is to repeat the pattern that I used on the first earring. Again, I would say if you're working from your little store of odds and ends, do make sure that you have enough for both earrings as you go through. So make them side by side, or if you want to do them one at a time, then every time you pick a spacer or a metallic bead from the pile, put the same number over to one side so that you know you'll have enough for later. So I'm just going to add a couple more on, and what I tend to do, just so that I keep it straight in my head because my brain's a little bit not brainy sometimes, let's put one on either side and build that design up. So I'll join you back in a second when I've added the rest of these beads and we get towards the top of the design. So I've continued adding beads until I have filled up that 1-inch circular form. I've finished off with a couple of beads that are slightly smaller, and that's just because it enables me to get into that little nexus point up at the top a little bit more closely with my fine-tipped bent chain nose pliers. Let's head back down to the board. We'll take a closer look at where we've got to and how to move on to the next step. So I've got quite large beads on this one, slightly more diminutive on the first pair that I made. So you can make it flashy or you can make it a little bit more delicate, absolutely up to you. So we've got a crossover point up at the 12 o'clock position on that circular form. What we're going to do is to go in with some fairly fine tipped pliers on the longer piece of wire. That's where we're going to start. I'm going to pop my pliers across that and then push up and away. Whoops-a-daisy, we can soon scooch those back on. Let's not worry about it for now. Get that nice and straight up at the top. Now, if your beads start moving around, don't worry. At this point, you can soon just scoop them back into position. Everything's still fairly flexible at this stage. So let me just get those beads back on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've only misplaced a couple. I've got a silver colour one and then a gold colour one. And then a nice little silver one at the end there. And as I mentioned earlier, they're slightly smaller beads just towards the end there. Now you can see that that gap is far too large. That's not what I need at all. So all we're going to do is just scooch those beads around gently to make sure that there's just a teeny tiny gap of a couple of millimeters up on that side with the longer wire. And then on the side with the shorter wire, I'm just going to grip really firmly with my pliers to make sure that everything sits where I want it to. Small gap on the longer side, and then on the shorter piece of wire I'm going to push up at a more gentle angle like so. You can see that those cross over nicely. Now that's going up at about 45 degrees. I'll just show you that by moving the beads around. We can soon push them back down. What we're going to do next is to grip across above that angle change like so. And then pull the wire away again, not completely flat, not going entirely to 9 o'clock, but more slightly to 10 o'clock. So you can see we've got a little deviation just up at the top here. And what we're going to do is to support across that last angle change whilst we push the wire back over the side of that upright wire and bring that back around. Now the tail of wire that you've brought around should be going off in a straight line, so that's heading up to 3 o'clock. What you'll find is that you're then able to create a more circular form than if you simply start wrapping from the piece that had the shorter wire that was going straight over. If you just wrap that around the core wire, your circle isn't totally circly. It's a little bit more disjointed than that. So I'm just going to pinch that by hand for now. And then I'm going to grip very, very carefully on that angle change while I bring that tail of wire around the core. Now it takes a little bit of gentle touch just to get that to rotate around without moving any of the wire that we talked about down here earlier where we had those funny angle changes. I'm just going to tighten that first little set of coils up, and then I'm going to continue wrapping that wire around the core. Ideally, I'm going to do it the same number of times as I have on the other earring. So that looks like 4 visible wraps. So we'll take that across again, and you will find that there's a way for you to hold this that is both comfortable and effective. So that's my 3rd visible wrap, holding onto that piece of wire so that we don't eat into that circular form. It's very easy to drag the wire around and into your wrap. Take that over the top. And then we've got our 4 visible wraps. I'm just going to compress that slightly. Make sure that we're looking at the front. If your large hole charm bead has a front, and this one definitely has, although I will say that the rear side of this particular charm bead is very cool. What we're going to do is to then make sure that we take the wire to the back of the design and just trim away before smoothing down neatly. So let's give that a little snip, or a snicked as the case might be. And then we're going to just smooth that down, rotating those pliers around softly so that we're not pulling anything out of form. All we're doing is making it very, very smooth at the cut end of that wire. And again, you may need to just compress everything down to make those wraps as neat as you possibly can. Take your time, make sure that you're happy. Job is a good un, as we say here in the UK. So that's the main part of the design today. I think they look really charming together, but obviously you can use any large hole bead that you fancy. Now I'm going to add a few beads into the neckline of that design. So I'm just going to make sure that everything is nice and tight and neat up at the top. And then I'm going to add a couple more beads before I finish off with a wrapped loop. and then pop this onto my fancy earring finding. So I've gone for a silver disc, a larger golden disc and another silver disc. No rules, you can go for a really exaggerated drop if you want, or a slightly more diminutive drop. You can use round beads, whatever takes your fancy. So let's have a look at how many wraps I did over the top of those beads. There are 3 visible wraps at the top there. If you wanted to reflect 4 and 4, you absolutely can. What we need to do is make a sideways loop so that my chosen earring finding will fit into that, and these will face forwards. So that space looks like I'll probably get around about 3 wraps in there. Let's grab in our round form of choice. And I can't remember, I think I did a number 1 on my bell making pliers. You can of course use your round nose pliers. Let's rotate that around and take a look. That looks reasonably accurate in terms of size. Not entirely straight, so let's just pull that over gently. Hold on to that round form and then wrap as you would any other wrapped loop. Nice and tight. Take that to the rear of the design, trim away and smooth down exactly as we did on the first side. Let's just give that a quick touch. Nice and tidy before we pop that onto our earrings. So these are indeed super easy, super fast, and if you've got a handful of spacer beads that you don't really know what to do with, it's a great way to use them up. And it's also a great way if you have been victim of over-gifting. My goodness me, what a nice problem to have. If you've got lots and lots of large hole charm beads and you want something different to do with them rather than wearing them on your charm bracelet, there's an idea for you. They're quite statementy, aren't they? But still, everybody knows I love these guys. I hope that you've enjoyed that, and as ever, if you have any suggestions, recommendations or requests, please do drop me a comment below. If you're enjoying the content, then please do like, subscribe and share, as it helps me be seen by the wider audience on YouTube. Have yourself a beautiful day, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.